and tell them what you were telling me about the baseball players. I didn't even know that.
You know, baseball players make far more money than football players do.
I had no idea.
You know, you take a baseball player that has a contract for $300 million over 10 years.
It's crazy.
You know, they named the last football player that had a $300 million contract. You're talking Grant Hill, I think, sat on the bench with Orlando for like 6 years, and got paid like $6 million a year or something like that. Just sitting there, he didn't play a game. And if he did get in the game, he didn't stay in long. You know,
crazy.
and you got our kids out here running up and down the field, crushing each other.
Getting hurt because you have to have a plan B. I can understand you have the love for the sports and everything, but
sports is a hobby.
Yeah, and your body,
and we need to reintroduce that to our kids. We need to reintroduce it as a hobby, and that's my thing. My thing is I want to I don't want to stop kids from playing sports and stop them from having fun, but I do want them to understand that sports is just fun. Even when you make it to the NFL or the NBA and Major League Baseball, it should always be fun. It's going to be politics, of course. Anywhere you're going to have major amounts of cash, there's going to be a political perspective to it. But at the end of the day, you want to do sports. It's fun. You look at LeBron James. He's an excellent basketball player. He looks like he has a lot of fun when he's out there. But behind the scenes, he's making a lot of smart business decisions. He's empowering the people around him so that they can also make smart business decisions. And we really need to equip our kids with the necessities to leave high school, go to college, not with the intentions of just becoming a football player, but with the intentions of taking that money and utilizing it to advance themselves and those around them. And that's not what we're getting. You know, we're getting purchases of Rolls Royces that were inaccessible to black people at one time. They wouldn't sell a Rolls Royce to a person of color. So, you know, now every time you look up, you got a black guy with a big contract. He got a Bentley. And of course, that's his money. He should be able to do whatever he wants to do with it. But however, when that little black kid was growing up, he was going to do so much for his community. He was going to do so much for his family members and his friends. And then once he got to that level, he met Mr. Sports Agent. You got to forget about that. You got to think about you. Are they going to pay you that kind of money? Are they going to do this for you? Are they going to do that for you? You know, I'm not quoting anybody's conversation, just hypothetically speaking, but at the end of the day, there has to be a transformation going on somewhere. At some point, there's a transformation, because a lot of these guys who come up in the community, they don't come back to help. That's true. When they do come back, the career's over. The contract's gone. The money's gone.
Wait, who is that?
And you know, there's no input into the community.
Which is sad.
Yeah, so my boys group is really intended to raise an innovative, motivated group of young men who can possibly go into college as entrepreneurs. Be entrepreneurs before they get into college. I mean, you search the web for young entrepreneurs and you have all kinds of kids. You know, making $7,000 a year. I mean, that's a lot of money for a kid. You know, you don't have any bills, any responsibilities, and you can make $7 grand a year, age 12.
I wish I had a computer back in the day.
try to broaden the horizon of young men who aspire to have better. A lot of the kids who are here are single parents. I mean, that's a big issue in our community that definitely needs to be addressed. All black men are fathers. I don't care whether you have a kid or not. If you're a black man and you're old enough to work and pay your own bills and take care of yourself, then unfortunately you're a father, because somebody the kids looks up to you. You know, just seeing you at the bus stop or seeing you at the red light. If there's a kid in your neighborhood that see you like every day, then guess what? You're a role model, whether you want to be or not.
That's so funny you say that, because I had got some dry erase boards, just like I like to write. I like little positive, you know, stuff. I'll write little sayings and stuff, and I put on my refrigerator. Remember, you're a role model no matter where you go. Your cousin, auntie, someone's watching you. That's cool. So
Yeah.
See, we're gonna be working together. What I want to ask you is, how would somebody get involved? Like if they wanted to bring their child in for the mentor?
It's simply just call the barbershop, and then I'll sit down and I'll talk to them and I'll tell them what my expectations are. Okay. We do try to set expectations from day one. Okay. This is what I expect, you know, from the kids. This is the type of this is what I expect from the parents, and then expectations they're low to the extent of the responsibility level. You know, it's really communication and presence. Need you to make sure they're here. If they need a ride, call us. You know, one of us will come get them. And as long as they're here, then they're guaranteed to learn something. I refuse not to let them leave. I refuse to let them leave and not learn anything.
What about ages? Like, how does that work? Do you have a certain age you work
You know,
with?
that's what we're wrestling with now.
Really?
Because the youngest person in the group is 7.
Okay.
You know, and just being around alone can mold him. So it's almost like, well, okay, well, what age do they start to learn? You're like, they start learning from birth.
Yeah. Bring me in. Go ahead, push my go, bring me in.
So it's to a point now where I'm at the mindset where if your child can sit and listen and pay attention without being disruptive, over the age of 6, he can come. Because he can be inspired just by listening. He doesn't have to get involved. Because the little 7-year-old that we have now is involved. Doesn't say a word. Doesn't say a word. You ask him a question and he freezes.
Oh, so it's on me?
You know, I think the only time we got him to talk, we stopped and we had a unique experience on the last trip. Make a long story short, we stopped. We were waiting on the parents to come pick them up from the town center. Police pulled up and sat behind us. So all the boys kind of panicked, like, they watching us. They just watching us because we black. And I was like, come on, let's go walk over here. Let's go ask them why they're watching us. So they was like, we going over there? I'm like, yeah, come on, let's go. So, you know, then you got this whole group of, it's like 9 of us. We walking towards these 2 police cars. And, you know, so I just walked up to the cops and I went, well, they want to know why you guys pulled up behind us to watch us. And they explained to them, well, you know, we're just doing our job. You know, we're on private property, which they are, because if a police officer is on private property, then he had to be asked to be there for that purpose. And they were saying, well, look, whenever a group gathers, whether it's black, white, or Spanish, we have to come and we have to monitor that because of the level of break-ins. So it has nothing to do with you guys being black. It's simply that we're doing our job. A lot of people always say, oh, that's bull crap, but that's another issue with us. We have to learn the rules. You know, that's why when you get hit on a person's private property, the police just be like, okay, this is your information, this is your information. And then they go, well, you didn't write him a ticket. I can't. I'm a city police. That's private property. You know, so, and the same thing with them bothering us. They couldn't. So, you know, it's little things like that. And that was the only time that he actually conversated because he had 1,000 questions to ask the police officer. But at the end of the day, he was still able to be inspired to get something out of it. And then he was able to be around some bigger guys that weren't drug dealers, that weren't just sports-only guys. They weren't teenagers chasing girls. Just some bigger guys who were trying to learn. You know, which will in return have an effect on him to say, if I grow up, it's cool for me to be intelligent. It's cool for me to focus on my books. So
be smart.
Exactly. So I mean, it's as simple as getting involved is as simple as calling the barbershop, and setting up a time where we can have some dialogue about your kids and what are the kids' issues, what issues are you having with them, and then that way we indirectly address issues. We don't go and be like, you got to do your schoolwork, you got to do what your mama said, your mama said. No, it's not that. We try to educate through influence.
So that's cool. I know you was giving me pointers the other day about like networking online and stuff. What type of social networks do you work with, or?
Well, I started Facebook last year, and I was like, I really don't want to do Facebook. But what really got me into networking was the Obama campaign. They set up one of their posts here at the barbershop, and during the election. So the whole experience with the campaign kind of really taught me about networking.
It was text messaging, emailing. He had my phone number, my email address, everything.
Yeah, and I mean we were having actual phone conference with Obama.
Oh, man.
You know, we would all meet up at the headquarters. You know, Obama would get on the phone, he would talk to us. You know, don't give up, don't quit. You know, this is guys is anticipating being the president of the United States, but yet from his jet or from his hotel room or wherever he is, he can take the time to have a phone conference with all of his people in the country who want to be on this phone conference and encourage them.